Yes.
They're in the playoffs.
The Bay Sox, our New Bedford Bay Sox, are finished.
New England Collegiate Baseball League done with its first year in the
Will
city.
be coming back. They'll be coming back next year, hopefully stronger. What, Cooch, you spent quite a bit of time with the Bay Sox last couple of weeks. What are your impressions on where they're going, where they've come from? We've got a big Sunday piece coming up on this. So.
I think there was a lot of hopes when the team got here that they were going to be this uplifting force to kind of become the glue of New Bedford's, summertime. There's a lot of festivals in the city. There's the art and the youth culture we were talking about. And there was this feeling that they were going to help solidify all that. And I think that they can get there one day in the future, but it was their first year. This is an ownership group that took over the team in Torrington that moved here just last year. So really, this is only their second year running a team, and they've both been kind of odd years where they only started in the March of the season before, and they don't really have that full 12-month plan anywhere yet. And I think there was a lot of hiccups along the way. I mean, they basically use an all-intern staff, so there was a lot of learning on the fly. I don't think they got the word out to people as well as they could have. Their website is a disaster, is probably not an overstating of it. Schedule was not clear. They had a lot of rainouts, which didn't help. They had a lot of players get injured, which didn't help. But I think that they still have a road to hoe to establish themselves in this community as the kind of thing that you do. Saying that, the other teams in the league that are successful all had these same bumps in the road.
Right.
We've talked about the Newport Gulls, the team that knocked them out of the playoffs. They're the most successful team in the league, but they started small too. And you have to, it's a learning process. And Robin Wadsworth, the team CEO, said, we're trying to shrink that learning process as much as we possibly can. But they made some inroads this year, but they definitely have significant more inroads to make.
Well, one of the questions that I have, at least in their future, and obviously it's too soon to judge because with these teams, they can stay a few years and then move on. But one of the things that Mayor Lang talked about a year or so ago was when those mills, the Fairhaven Mills area and all that stuff, and they're talking about things that could be developed, and they wanted to develop a minor league park. Is there a chance that at some point the Bay Sox are going to get their own field? Maybe not necessarily, like Campanelli Stadium where the Brockton Rocks play.
Do they need it though? I'm not sure they do.
I don't think they would pursue it because you can look at the attendance figures, and the numbers that they have produced are, I think it's fair to say, a majority of them are tickets that were bought by corporations and businesses in the city and donated. I think that their walk-up attendance beyond that, nowhere near.
So they don't need to be part of this downtown area. They don't need to be part of this
kind of league. I mean, the team in Newport probably has the nicest stadium in the league, and it's Cardines Field. If any of the local listeners have ever been down there, it's right on America's Cup Avenue, right down in downtown Newport. But it's a stadium that they've been playing baseball there since 1910, and the grandstand was built in something like 1930. This is a league that's built around nice high school fields. The Cape's much the same way. They don't have any cut and dry stadiums. They just have fields, and it's a matter of that is something that you do on the Cape, and certain teams get the word out better than other teams do, and it's the same in this league.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they had a minor league team, like a Class A minor league team, then maybe it would be worth a stadium for. I'm not sure that the Bay Sox need more than what they have.
Stadium necessarily,
but even I mean, Walsh Field's a nice little field.
It is. It's a great field.
As that league goes, Walsh Field is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But in terms of its proximity to the other things that the city have to offer, I mean, does it need to be more part of this heart of the city?
I think location-wise, it hurts them a bit because it's near Route 6 in New Bedford, which is kind of the main road that runs from the end of the Cape all the way through here.
But no one really takes it.
No one really takes it all the way through. But I mean, the stadium is by the high school, which is in a residential area. It's not the kind of thing that you're going to stumble upon if you're just driving through. I think the biggest thing that they need to do is they need to figure out, all right, here's where we can get our name out to people, and here's where we really need to focus. We really need to have a better website so that people know what's going on with us. We really need to, get our name out in the youth leagues, which is something that they talked about doing very seriously.
I think they
in
did
December.
I mean, there were an awful lot of kids at those games.
There were an awful lot of kids, but there's an awful lot of youth leagues out there that I don't think that they tapped, and that I was basically told that they didn't tap.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all the festivals that happen in the city in the summer. They said that they didn't know about Summerfest, which is the big folk festival in the city that gets a good number of people. I don't know if the audience would be the same, but they got involved in the Feast of the Blessed Sacrament, which is basically the biggest celebration we have in this region. They got involved with that. They didn't really tap into, this is a big docking city for cruise ships coming through the area. They didn't really touch that at all. I feel like they tried to.
But I mean, who's going to come off a cruise ship and say, "Oh, this is great. Let's go see"?
Maybe that's not necessarily the best example, but they need these teams that succeed and get followings in this league.
Yeah.
It becomes the kind of thing where without even having to see, hey, there's a game tonight. There's a game tonight, and you look for it as something to do. They don't have that here yet.
When you so what was your experience? You went down to Newport to see a game there. What was the difference?
The difference was you would think in Newport, being the cosmopolitan tourist city that it was, that it would be a heavy tourist audience, and there's definitely that factor to it, but it's a lot of local people. They have the summer camps, which is something that the Wareham Gatemen have done, and is something that the Bay Sox have tried to do and are starting to do here. But you have summer camps, you give kids free tickets, the kids come with their families, the families get talking to other families, the word gets out, and it becomes an organic thing. There's a lot of older people who were there. I met a guy who actually works in Fairhaven and lives right in Newport, and said when they got to the city, that was just one of those things that they checked off. We're going to do this. This is something worth checking out. And they came. It's cheap entertainment. It's good family entertainment. You can go to a game with your family for $20, and they have season tickets now. There needs to be that sort of establishment of, all right, when I think about New Bedford, one of the things I think about is that they have a summer baseball team, which is the same thing you get down on the Cape. Or if I go to the Cape, we'll go to a Cape Cod Baseball League game.